year one, I was reminded that, well, this space is important, and I wish I had this through my younger years, my teenage years, to be able to flush out all the stuff I was dealing with, all the awkwardness, right? And I think in that moment, it made me feel like, wow, we can really have a space like this where we don't have to deal with the biases of the world, the chaos, and you can hear your voice loud, because in most places you just feel muted. You know, over the years, safe was just a popular thing to say, right? We want a safe space. You know, you want a safe space at work, you want a safe space at home, you want a safe space in school, or just places you hang out. But the reality is, I learned over the years, as you evolve in your understanding, is that safe is very subjective. You have to feel safe in your body, and no other human being or place or business can make you feel safe. So what we try to do here is just be as welcoming, loving as possible, pull back on our implicit biases and our judgment, so it can be a third space. A third space is, it's not home, it's not school, it's not work. When you come here, there's literally no judgment. There's no opinion about who you are. You're just welcome. Third places make you feel safe and feel seen, because nobody wants anything from you, no one's taking anything from you. And again, I don't have any opinion about you. I just want you to be okay and come and be a part of the community. That's what we try to do at Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health. That's a great question. I leveraged what I would consider some of the most painful feelings and a truth I used to believe about self because of all the stuff I dealt with in my upbringing, right? All the childhood abuse and all the years of being homeless. I was able to take and leverage those difficult times and say, okay, I'm going to use that, turn into like this powerful motivation tool. Because it's easy like to focus on the negativity and sort of sit in that space and you don't build anything. But if you learn how to leverage a hard time and take that as fuel, that was and still is the foundation and the backbone of this organization. And also teaching people when they come and be a part of this space, how to also harness and leverage a hard time and use it as power and motivation rather than something that keeps you paralyzed and you can't move. Oh, that's a very easy answer. All of the men, especially black men who come into this space, who reach out via DM, emails, people from all over the country, but especially right in the city of Chicago, we have the highest retention in our group sessions with the men's group. That is the most proudest achievement in this organization, because that's all I wanted. Being a black man myself, not feeling comfortable to show up and tell people how I feel without bias. So to build a space for men, obviously everyone is welcome, but that's quite the accomplishment. Getting black men, right, to open up and talk about their feelings and then also ask for help. Before hip hop just became about a party and the fanfare of it all and the braggadocious, hip hop at the core, the essence of it was about building people up, empowerment. It was about being truthful, being honest, right? And so I pulled from that part of the hip hop culture, showing people that we can articulate ourselves and we can open up and we can talk, but it's the bridge, it's the connector, right? It's learning how to navigate through different times and different experiences. And that's the beauty and the very exception of hip hop. Using your voice, using your rhythm, using your vibe and your energy to tell a beautiful story, right? Hip hop is the connector, it's the voice, it's the language, right? It's how we articulate, whether it's good or indifferent, we're able to communicate very clear about what is happening and what we need. Welcome. Right? I mean, just think about any other space. Of course, we want to raise money, but I want people to feel welcome. You know, growing up in the city of Chicago, not having money to do a lot of things, I couldn't go into a lot of places because I didn't have money. And if you don't have money, you're not welcome. Here, you are welcome first before you are able to say, I got 10 or 15 or a few dollars to buy a cup of coffee or a sweatshirt. I want you to feel welcome.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of a third place, right? Being welcome, no bias, no judgment, and you don't have to buy anything to be here. You know what, in the very beginning, I had so many campaigns. Poverty is violent, normalized therapy. Then I realized that that's not what we actually do. We pour into people, right? Year 6 going into year 7, I realized very clear what we do is we pour into people. No different than pouring a cup of coffee, right? We pour into people, and you can't pour from an empty cup. So that says that mental health is it's layered. When you think about mental health, that's such a big word with so many nuances, right? And so many variables. And the reality is we want people to be educated about what that really means. You may have a breakup and you don't feel good in the moment. You may have lost your job, right? You may have stumped your toe. That is not a mental health crisis. It's an inconvenience in your feelings and your emotions. So we want people to be educated about what it means to be mentally and emotionally well. Because we don't want people to be manipulated. We don't want people to use mental health to manipulate others. We don't want people being predatory in that space. We want people to understand truly what it means to be a good manager of self. That is what we have evolved to in our teaching and our education, our group series. How do we teach people how to be better managers of selves? Because you can go to therapy, you can have a mentor, you can have a life coach, but that's 1 or 2 hours out your week. You still got to return back to self.
Yes.
So who are you when you're away from people versus when you are in front of people? At the end of the day, we just want to teach people how to reverse engineer all those old patterns, all that old stuff that you used to live by that wasn't good for you, so you can be a good manager of self. Yeah, so you can follow us at Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health on Instagram, of course. You can put it in, you can find us. We're located at 1051 West Belmont, right in the Lakeview neighborhood. We travel all throughout the city to do group therapy sessions. You can go to our website, chhhamh.org. You can donate there. Appreciate you all.